Alright, how are you all doing today, Nintendo Buzz? Today I'm bringing you a familiar game with an unfamiliar name attached to it, so I figured I'd go ahead and take the opportunity to introduce myself and what we're doing today. My name is KwandaoRen66 on YouTube. You can feel free to call me Elo. It's a lot shorter, it's a lot easier to remember, and we can go with that. 20 years old. I've been playing the Pokemon metagame for about, I guess since Diamond and Pearl came out. Probably about 2 months into that, I decided I was tired of losing as a casual player, and I decided to go into it. And as of recently, I was featured as sort of a spotlight trainer on Xenon's channel. So, you know, being featured by someone of his caliber, I do feel that I bring a somewhat distinct style of narration of sorts, and hopefully you all, I guess, will enjoy it. So now today I'm gonna go ahead and bring you a mixed tier match I had with a user by the name of Yggychu, I believe it was. And how mixed tier works is you bring 3 OU Pokemon, 2 NU Pokemon, and an NU. So you're using something from every tier, at least one. But with mixed, that's how the general standard is, so that's what, you know, you're supposed to bring. I brought Staraptor as a lead, which is actually BL but qualifies as OU, so it's okay, it's good to go. And I go ahead and lead with it, just fearing Machamp, plus I don't really see lead Staraptor often enough, you know. So we can go with that, it's okay. And judging by the damage it did after Intimidate, I'm thinking that it is, and I see the Flare Blitz, and I don't see the Life Orb, so I'm thinking it's Choice in some way, but I've yet to figure out what. I'm inclined to believe it's Scarf right after the second turn, because I'm not really seeing the damage that Band would be doing even after the Intimidate. So I figure I can stay in here, try to get my health back, and then we'll go ahead and go to my Ninetales, since I really do have the sneaking suspicion he's trapped in Flare Blitz. And switching out does confirm that, so now I have a boosted Ninetales here. And seeing the Raikou come in, I'm not really threatened by it, since I did try to Hypnosis it. I unfortunately miss, and it does go for the extra sensory, but Ninetales' special defense is actually somewhat decent. It has quite a bit of natural bulk on the special side to itself, and because he didn't use Stab, I actually take that a lot better than I thought I would have, to be completely honest. And a Flashfire boosted Flamethrower does, you know, a nice amount. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't even Nasty Plot or anything of the sort, and it's a solid 2-hit KO. So we're all good to go on this Raikou here, and this thing actually did put a lot of the rest of my team in check, so I'm really glad to have taken it out this early in the match. The Infernape does prove to be a little bit of a problem, but I'm not too concerned with it for the moment. Unfortunately, this Gardevoir does have Trace, and it traces my Flash Fire, so now I cannot use my Fire-type move on it. And now that I put it to sleep, I figure I'm just going to go ahead and boost up. I don't want to waste the Flash Fire. Now that they know I have a Ninetales, they're not going to lock themselves in on Flare Blitz until it's out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and boost up once. And fearing the switch of some sort, and also, you know, to gauge how much damage I'm going to do against this Gardevoir, see what kind of a set/build it is, I'm just going to go ahead and plot up once and go for the Energy Ball. You can have Energy Ball or Dark Pulse on a Ninetales. I pack Energy Ball, and more often than not, I've needed Dark Pulse, but I couldn't really be bothered to switch it off. I do a decent amount to it, so I can go ahead and pick it off with my my own shiny Ralts evolution here. Now, this is a different set. I forgot where I picked this off of, and I'm not gonna go ahead and lie. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. I actually did see this on someone else's video. I can't be bothered to remember who it was, but I thought the set was really interesting, so I was gonna go ahead and try it. It is a sub Swords Dancing Focus Punching Gallade, and you have Life Orb on it, just in case you need to use your 4th move with priority right off the bat, which is Shadow Sneak. Now, I know I could have killed it off with Shadow Sneak, but I wanted to be boosted for whatever would come in, and I thought, you know, Gallade had a little bit more natural special bulk to it, but I did not take that. I think it was the Thunderbolt that it just used on me. Whatever attack it happened to use on me, I did not really take it that well at all. And this Dragonite actually turns out to be more of a defensive build, since I did calculate that that would have done at least a little bit more, not as little as I did, especially since I'm +2 and I do have the 30% life orb boost. So my Gallade was wasted, unfortunately. But I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jolly Choice Banded Blaziken here, who is going to aptly punch this Dragonite in the Levi's, or at least attempt to. Even Jolly with Choice Band, that does not kill this Dragonite, so that does confirm to me that this thing is extremely bulky. But because it has EVs invested in HP, and more than likely a little bit in defense, not 100% in attack, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to be able to live that Dragon Claw, and since the extreme speed isn't stab either, I should be able to take that as well. Now, since I'm Choice Banded, I do have to go with Stone Edge again and pray for the love of God that it doesn't miss. Otherwise, he's just going to go ahead and roost up after he kills me off on the next turn, and he's going to go with Extreme Speed and take me out. Whatever the case may be, I do actually happen to take it out. And since I am at low health, Blaziken is rather slow, I'm going to go ahead and leave it in as fodder for this Infernape, knowing it's Scarfed, and see what he decides to lock himself in onto. Now, since he locked himself in on Earthquake, I actually am free to bring in my Staraptor and go ahead and just get a free substitute. What else am I going to do? They switch out, and that's exactly what I go to, but unfortunately they reveal an NU of theirs, which actually happens to be an Ampharos, and I'm like, well, there's not really too much I can do here. My stab isn't going to do much. I'm kind of fearing the static, but I guess I will go for the close combat, since, you know, it was a free sub. How are you going to turn that down? And we can just come in on something else. I do have something that resists Thunderbolt. I was wondering what I was going to do after the sub was broken, but I got about half on it, which really isn't too bad, and I didn't get staticked for it, so that's also something to be I guess quite pleased about, since I wasn't really expecting to do that much, since I'm Jolly and it's not stab, but Staraptor still is quite a force to deal with if you're not careful. So I go ahead and bring in my Venusaur to take the Thunderbolt. I'm more of an offensive variety on this thing. This is a growth set, which is not actually too popular, but is still a set that should be feared nonetheless, especially if you let it get set up on. Since I do happen to be faster than the Ampharos, I can go ahead and try to set up on it. So I think I go for the Sleep Powder on this turn, but I actually end up missing despite it having 75 accuracy, which kind of sucks since I missed my Hypnosis earlier in the match as well. It does turn out to bite me a little bit in the butt here, but I know with 75 accuracy over the 60 accuracy on Hypnosis, I should be able to put it to sleep this turn, which I do, and that's actually pretty cool, since now I can start setting up on it, start gradually getting some Black Sludge recovery, and hopefully take another Shadow Ball at this point. Right here, I go for the Sludge Bomb to gauge how much damage I do, and gauge what kind of Gengar this is. Since if it's not invested in HP, I'm thinking it would have been a little bit bulkier than that, and I didn't know what item it had, but now that I did some damage to it and I'm seeing the lefties, I'm thinking it's more of a defensive variety, such as the kind with Substitute and Pain Split. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and go for the growth while it's asleep, and hopefully I can take another Shadow Ball or whatever move it decides to go for. If it has the HP Ice and it hasn't revealed it yet, I'm not sure. Wakes up, unfortunately, this turn and goes for the Thunderbolt. I'm guessing they went for the Thunderbolt, predicting my Staraptor to come in on the Shadow Ball. Other than that, it really doesn't make too much sense. But I go for the Sludge Bomb here once again to gauge damage. I was thinking it would do a little bit more, since Venusaur's special attack stat is actually quite good, and it doesn't do as much as I'd like it to. The Gengar goes for the Focus Blast, which is not very effective and not stab, so that move didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And I decided it's just time to bring out the big guns and go for the Leaf Storm, which actually takes it out in one shot. This Sludge Bomb is stab as well, but Leaf Storm is just so over the top, even with +1 special attack. It's just amazing. This thing in NU, if you can get it going, it's wow. Now, my opponent probably overpredicted on this turn. Don't know what they were expecting, but they went for the close combat, and thanks to the defense and special defense drop, a -1 Sludge Bomb thanks to my Leaf Storm from the prior turn is actually going to be able to compensate in a way, since their -1 special defense and my -1 special attack kind of cancel each other out. Now, I don't kill it, but the poison actually does take effect, which is like, alright, I can live with that. My last one did happen to be a Gengar, which outspeeds Infernape regardless, so I wasn't too concerned, but I did find that really funny when I was actually in a live call with 2 other people streaming this match to them, and we just had a good laugh at that moment. But now I'm going to go ahead and try to attempt to set up on this Ampharos. I'm thinking I have the game in the bag at this point. As long as I can get 1 Growth and maybe 1 Leaf Storm in, I can get some damage and bring in Staraptor and go for the close combat, get some damage, or go to Gengar and go for a Shadow Ball. But they get, I believe that was the first turn wake up. It was a really early wake up. That's all I really know about right now. And they take me out with Signal Beam, which it's very irritating, because now all I can really do with my own Staraptor here is just go for a close combat and whittle it down enough and pray that Life Orb Gengar with Shadow Ball is going to be enough to take it out, because I know Gengar's special defense is not good, but it is better than its defense. But, you know, versus a Stab Thunderbolt, I still don't want to rely on Gengar to have to take a hit, so I'd rather go ahead and send in Staraptor and do as much damage as I can with a not stab move. That way my Gengar can come in and go for the Shadow Ball with the Life Orb, stab, and the works, the likes, you know. And that actually, as you will see, is going to be sufficient enough to take it out, leaving me with a 1-0. So that was a fantastic game, Yggychu. I guess that's it for today, guys. If you did like this video, go ahead and click like. My channel will be in the description. My opponent's channel, I believe, if I can dig it up in time, will also be in the description. So make sure you go ahead and check us both out, and hopefully I'll go ahead and drop by another video eventually. So until then, guys.